Hello everyone, it's TIJ and welcome back to episode 5 of the MotoGP 17 Managerial Career Mode with, of course, TIJ Racing. And today, we do the 7th and 8th GPs of the Moto3 season. The first one being at Catalonia and the second one at Assen. Possibly my favourite track on the whole calendar. Now, if you didn't watch the last video, no problem, I'll just tell you what happened in that last video. We actually finished second in Mugello. We started last night, absolutely fantastic GP. I'd recommend going to watch that race, it was awesome. And then at Le Mans, a bit of a disappointing result. We finished 18th, but close to the points. But that second, we're going to see today whether that was just a complete fluke or whether it was something we can continue going into this European leg of the season in Spain and the Netherlands. So we've got a few emails to look at before we start. Got the transfer window, which we looked at last episode. And now we've got changes of agreement in terms of objectives. So our objective is to finish in the points every race, and we get 2.2 thousand credits if we can get to that. And then Leo's objective is to get to 25th in the standings every race, and then he gets just shy of 1,000 credits. Well, we do, not him. We get just shy of 1,000 credits for him getting that. So we're going to start here at the Catalonia GP. We're not going to bother doing qualifying just yet. I don't know why my controllers, the suit's something wrong with it, because if you just look, there's something wrong with this controller because I'm not holding it down, if that makes sense. The analog, but it just decides to go on a complete fit. And, you know, go up and down the menus without me even doing it. But at the moment, unless this completely breaks, I'm not looking to buy a new controller because they are about 30 quid, I think, even second hand. So I don't think I'll be looking to buy a new controller, but I suppose you never know. If this one breaks, I suppose I'll have to, but, you know. I mean, I've had this for, what, 4 years this Christmas? So, yeah, 4 years, or maybe even 5. No, the Xbox One came out in 2013, didn't it? So I think 4 years this Christmas, so it's lasted quite a while anyway, but 100% loaded up to now, onto this one. Just a quick update concerning Football Manager for all my viewers coming over from the Football Manager side. I'm going to have a little break on terms of Football Manager. If you appreciate it, I've been doing pretty much daily videos on that since sort of September or October time. So it's all starting to feel a bit stale now, and it's my first year of doing FM. I don't particularly think I've done it magnificently correct, and there's been a lot of things I've done wrong. And there's no chance I'm going to stop being an FM YouTuber because the big push will be into FM 19. But for now, I'm just trying to consider my options, see what's best for us, and just continue really with this bi-daily stuff, uploading MotoGP. And the most important thing for me, I feel, is that I'm still uploading quality content, whatever game that might be on. I hope you guys also enjoyed the video on Sunday. I'd like to make a soccer team. I thoroughly enjoyed recording it. It was great stuff. But Ward's out qualified Pulkinen. That's brilliant to see. But no, it's just something a little bit different, the Retro Sunday series. So I recommend you go and watch that. It was on Let's Make a Soccer Team, a brilliant game. And this week it'll be on another game. But here we go then. Starting at the back of the grid. In this race, Catalonia. If you watched the MotoGP at the weekend, let me know what you think of the penalty that Marquez got. I was gutted when he took Rossi out, because obviously, you know, Rossi's my favourite rider, and I couldn't believe when he took him out. But it was a brilliant race. Obviously, you got Crutchlow, Zarco, Miller, and who was the other one now? It was Rins, wasn't it, on the Suzuki? It's 4 different manufacturers, none of them on the actual factory bikes, you know, and all independent bikes, which is brilliant to see. And Crutchlow, I think the first rider, British rider anyway, to win when there since Barry Sheene in 1980. It's quite an achievement for Cal. Surprised he didn't go off and crash in the race, because he tends to at least once a weekend. Not sure if he did in practice or not, but I'll be shocked if he didn't. You know, it's quite a perfect weekend if he doesn't. But speaking of us anyway on this Mahindra bike, on the TIJ Racing bike, we've had a very good start here, up to 18th place, and this is easy pickings now. I'm just getting a bit worried. Luckily on this game we can increase difficulty, but I've been playing a lot of Rory McIlroy PGA Tour over the last few days, and one of the criticisms I have of that game is that it's too easy, as in when you start off, you know, you're being mugged in tournaments, but as soon as you get the hang of the game, how it works, and how to hit good shots onto the green close to the flag, so that, you know, you get birdies, eagles, etc, etc. It gets a bit too easy because you can start dominating tournaments, and it's a bit disappointing when that happens. But luckily with this game, we're not on the hardest difficulty, so if it does start to get too easy, and i.e. we finish second and third today, something along those lines, then we will increase difficulty just slightly, because it seems to be getting a little bit too easy for us. And you could say a little bit unrealistic in this season, but maybe you guys don't want me to increase difficulty. Maybe you guys are quite happy to see us, you know, fast tracking if you like, and doing quite well. Because I can't imagine it's too interesting seeing us fighting and scrapping for 1 or 2 points. Or would you guys rather see something more realistic? I'd really appreciate your comments. I'm not bothered either way. It's whatever you guys really want to see. Well, I say I'm not bothered either way, but seeing as this series will probably only be going till the start of June, because that's when the new MotoGP game comes out. And unfortunately, apparently, there's no managerial mode, which is unbelievable. But this probably will go until the start of June, so there's only going to be, there's 3 episodes a week. You can do the maths as of how many weeks and episodes and race we'll be able to do up until then. And whether you guys want to see me, at the top of the MotoGP ladder once we get to there. Because I feel what might be best perhaps is to fast track a little bit through Moto3 and Moto2. And then maybe say MotoGP in the 3rd season. I've never actually gone too far into this, so I don't quite know how it works. But if we can afford to, we'll go into Moto2 next season, and obviously we'll be riding in Moto2. Our Moto3 team will still be going with Leo and another rider, but it'll just be the case that Toby Jones, if you like, will be racing in Moto2. So these good results, I suppose, is going to be a real good catalyst for the start of a bit of a good amount of money coming to the team. That's going to be a big thing in terms of whether we have the money to establish a Moto2 team come the end of this season. 12th place then at the midpoint of the race, really. End of sector 1 in the second lap. Technically about really mid-race distance. Good race though so far, up to 12th. We're not really doing too badly. We're not doing brilliantly at the same time, but we're doing quite well. And we've got Lloyd just ahead of us now, coming to this tricky right-hander. Got to make sure you don't overshoot this one, sorry, because it could end pretty nastily. A little bit like it did in F1 a few seasons ago. Who was it for now? It wasn't Hamilton, I don't think. I can't remember who it was, but they went straight on, didn't they, at that corner. And could it be Massa? Potentially it was Massa, I can't quite remember. But anyway, coming out of this left-hander. I'm not a big fan of the Catalonia track to ride or drive, in fact, in the F1 games, but it's not my worst track, so that's alright. But Mugello is a really good track to me. Same goes for the next track at Assen. I'm really looking forward to that one, and I honestly think we could possibly win that one. We're in 12th place, though. It'd be nice to scrape into the top 10, definitely. DJ Antonio's just ahead of us. We've Loy ahead of him, but there's quite a train of cars ahead of these two. It's quite nice to jump them. As you can see, some brilliant traction coming out of that corner. Bear in mind, we've got no traction control on at all. DJ Antonio's trying to make a move on Lloyd. We're just going to slipstream both of them on this Mahindra bike. The least powerful on the grid now. Now there's no Peugeot bikes. We nearly get to 10th by the corner, but actually they've both mugged us on the brakes. But we can get the overcut on them and maybe not fall off. That's something we haven't done for a few races, in all fairness. But we're having quite a battle here with these two riders. They're not seeming to want to go away, but making sure we don't go off there, because that would really sabotage a good result for us. But Fanati's just ahead with a few other riders. Wouldn't it be brilliant to see? Because it's not out of the question then that we could still win the Moto3 Championship, because it seems that the field is quite mixed up, meaning that there's not a runaway leader, and it doesn't really, there's not really much consequence, if you like, for finishing maybe, 1 point or 2 points in some races. But Canet and Mir are fighting for the lead. They're two names you probably see up there quite usually, to be fair. Johan Mir in real life now in Moto2, of course. We don't need to mention Canet if you're a Moto GP fan, especially what happened in Argentina last weekend. Up to 10th though, here's our compatriot John McPhee, potentially jumping that corner a little bit there. On to the last stretch of this 3rd lap. Can we get inside that top 4 or top 5 where that massive train is? Possibly. I don't think we can do it, but maybe 7th place may not be too much out of the question. Brake to this left-hander then, McPhee and the two other riders battling ahead of him. Had a good braking zone there, but not really much and not really good enough to catch up to these two. So we're going to have to have quite a good string of corners here. We brake quite early so we can get the overcut out of this corner. I do quite like that. Braking early and then accelerating to get the best of them whilst they're obviously on the brakes. Feels like we can only probably get our compatriot John McPhee now. Don't crash though, whatever you do. That would be the most stupid thing. Just going for that one position. We're going to dive it up the inside of John McPhee. Tap him out the way. Tap him again. Can we get the better run? We've got a little bit wide, but I think we are going to get John McPhee. Oh, we tap our compatriot once again, but we've got him. We've got John McPhee, and we're now got the slipstream on Migna. I don't think we're going to be able to get him before the line, but we stay in the slipstream anyway, and that is going to be 9th place. A decent result. More of a consolidation after that 2nd place in Mugello. And now we'll move on to Assen to see what we can do there. But it'd be a really interesting race. I'm sure Ward didn't finish the points, but did he get his objective of 25th? Yes, he did actually. 22nd. That's quite decent, for him. But a 1:57 flat, nearly the fastest lap of the race. Only beaten by the top 3 riders, and that is brilliant. As you can see, we're 12th in the championship. Actually, I lied. Yeah, we're not going to win the championship. There's no way we're going to win the championship. Look at that. Canet is 115 points ahead. No, never mind what I said about 2 minutes ago. Scrape that. But anyway, let's move on now to the Assen GP. Here we are then in Assen. Brilliant track, if I say so myself. I think it's a brilliant track. There's plenty of chances to overtake, plenty of high-speed corners as well, which massively benefits me. I mean, for me, the more powerful the bike, the better around here, to be quite honest. So you can get it around those corners even quicker, then get more of an advantage, if you like, compared to the other riders. But we're nearly loaded into this one. There's potential of rain perhaps at Assen. You know, there's been quite a few years when there's been rain. Obviously, the last GP we had rain came in America when we got our first point. Will rain come today when we get our first win? 100% loaded in. Let's see what happens. Right, it is raining. It is. I've predicted it quite right. Heavy rain here at Assen. And are we going to go from back to front? This is going to be an interesting one. Let's see what happens here in the Netherlands. The Dutch GP, the Dutch TT as they call it. Rather than the Isle of Man TT, of course, in the Isle of Man. Right, here we go then for the start of this race. It's going to be brilliant to see in the wet now. Now we've got up to pace a little bit. Here we go. The lights are on. And they are out. And away we go for this Assen GP. A magnificent track. And let's take you around it for the first time out of these 3 tours of this track. There's the Mahindra bike again next to us. And it's the first corner. We should just be able to make some nice places up. Not crashing though this time like we did in America. Not being too silly though. Not being too silly. Obviously it's wet. You know, you've got to take a few more limitations. But you wouldn't know that from the way we're riding at the moment. But, into Bezecchi, into Ben Schneider a little bit there. But we've made up a few places. Not a brilliant start, I must have confessed. No, not the most brilliant start we've ever had. But we can definitely gain coming into these corners now. Right, we as you can see, we massively outbrake people. The problem is we're on the outside. So we're going to have to take into consideration where they all are. And we're up to 20th after that good start. Now we can get the slipstream on Suzuki on the other bike. Here we go. This should be a good race. Here we go. 40 seconds into this first lap. And here comes the big one where we can get a lot of time. It's quite risky though. Come on. Go on, put your foot down now. I tried to concentrate a little bit there because it's very easy to get that one wrong, but it's very rewarding if you get it right. As you can see, we're barging up the inside of people and we're into the points now. There we go, into 15th. And now we're going to overtake Narodin and Rodrigo as well. Oh, what a beautiful move on the overcut. They thought they got us and we just braked a little bit into there and got him back. And as you can see, our advantage on this track is quite incredible. Already 20 places. Rodrigo ruining the party, of course. 20 places gained on this first lap. Yep, it is now. And here we go. Here's another one we can gain a massive advantage. And here we go. We don't want to make sure we hit that big curb, though, because that'll send us absolutely flying off the bike. And there'll be no way we could even score points if this happens. Now, this is quite a risky one. Here we go. We're not going to brake what it tells us to whatsoever. But we've still stayed on the track, unbelievably. A bit of a rubbish line, I think you'd say, into that last few corners. But these last few corners are the biggest here at Assen. If you get these wrong, you can lose a lot going to that start-finish straight. Not the best of corners, to be honest, from us there. We didn't have the best of lines in the world, but we're going to do the fastest lap, I think, just by about half a second. As Fanati does a 55.4 and we do a 40. Sorry, not a 45, a 54.8. We meet Lloyd, though, here again. Can we get past him? Not braking there at all. Don't need to. Brake here, though. And there we go. Lovely stuff up the inside of Lloyd. Not making sure we make too much of a mistake. It's quite tricky, though, getting from a high speed down to a low speed, as you can understand. As you can see, the leader and the leaders, I should say, the leading pack is now in our sights. So we're now going on the outside of, is it Johan Martin? I think it's something like Johan Martin. But we can't quite do that one, unfortunately. Now coming into the, as I said, the conflicts that we gained on before. Here we go. We're another 4 seconds into this lap. And can we do anything here? Into the right left-hander. Don't hit Martin. I have to say, on these bikes, I don't really gain too much from that approach. But on the MotoGP bikes, if you get it right, you can be going 50, 100 miles an hour quicker than all the other bikes potentially at that point. 11th place, though. A third into the final third of the field, if you want to deal in fractions, percentages, etc. Up the inside of Antonelli, and who's that? TIJ Antonio. He's quite a consistent runner, TIJ Antonio. Now, I've never actually heard of him outside of the game before, but he seems to be one of these who's quite consistent, but we really need to be in that 6th, 4th, 5th place by the end of this lap. We're going to go for this win. Bit out of shape, though, out of there. That's not too brilliant. We haven't got traction control on, have we? Because it feels like we're not accelerating too much, but then again, I haven't rode a Moto3 bike round Assen for probably since I did it in my rider career, so we're talking maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago, potentially now. TIJ Antonio, though, is our next target. Much better line round there, and can we finish it off with a beautiful line round these last 2 corners? Let's see how we get on. Bearing in mind, well, as well, we've got the handicap of being, last on the grid. So if we do qualify, that's the, I guess you could say it's heartening or disheartening, really. If we do qualify, then we're pretty much going to win, aren't we? Because we're clearly quicker than everybody else in the field. It's just a case of getting past them because obviously track's position is absolutely everything. Mir and Kane seem to just be dominating this championship. Again, scrapping it out for the lead of this race. Bastianini, we nearly hit him and that's compromised our entry into this next right-hander. But if we can get these free coming to this next corner, let's have a look. The inside, we're going to go up the inside. We're going to push Migno out the way. I'm not too bothered, to be fair. But it's not too brilliant going on the outside there because you've got a massive compromised line coming to the next corner. I don't think we're going to win this, you know. I think we're going to move those out, which is quite a shock considering our pace here. Let's go for this big right-left-hander once again. What's going to happen? Right, come on. We need to get past all these three really here. That's one. Migno now. Oh, Migno. Out the way, son. Out the way. That's good. Now Oetel's the next one. That'll be 6th place. Could do getting a podium here. That'd be lovely. I don't think we're going to win it though by any stretch of the imagination. Up the inside. Brake late. And that's 6th place for now. Mir and Kane again swapping positions at the front. Oh, is Oetel going to get all involved in this just to hold us back? Really? Oh, for heaven's sake. And we've lost both the places we gained. And oh, are you kidding me? We're off the bike. Yeah, we're going to have to take that now. That's our own fault for pushing too much. We are off the bike. We went too aggressively for it. We went for the... Oh, no, we're gonna lose 8 points here. I thought, oh, we're all right. We're going to get points. Oh, dear, this is a disaster. We're down to 20th, and we're going to have to make a mammoth move at this final complex of corners just to get into the points. Deary me, I don't think we're going to do it, you know. We're going to get past Rodrigo here, but Rodrigo isn't going to be enough to get us into the points. Might as well just go for it here. Up the inside of Rodrigo, and about 5 other drivers. Here we go. Into this last complex. We've got a good run. We're potentially in the sand. Come on! Oh, unbelievable. What a disaster. We fell off the bike, and to be honest, we deserved that. We were pushing way too hard. And we finished 18th. No, not 18th. Sorry, 17th. Where did Ward finish? All the way down in 28th. Deary me. The fastest rider on the pitch and on the field out of everyone. But that is going to be it, folks, for this episode. I hope you've enjoyed. I certainly have. And I'll see you guys on Thursday at 6 PM for the next one, for the 9th and 10th GPs of this Moto3 season. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.